जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल। जय सचिनंदन जय सचिनंदन जय सचिनंदन गौर हरे। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Devam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraj Kacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Divaniyas ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत संक्षेपोपाद की जाए। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाए। अनंत गौड़ वैष्णव वृंद की जाए। नमाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की जाए। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जाए। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाए। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जाए। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जाए। गंगमय यमुनामाई की जाए। भक्ति देव तुलसी महारानी की जाए। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जाए। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाए। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Gauranga, Prabhupada की जाए। ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधनाम नमस्ते सारस्वते गौरवाणी प्रचारण निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देशतारण। Thank you for joining. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, verse number 54. Very important verse. Okay. Let me share. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay. Chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, verse number 54. Arjuna Vacha Stitapragnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya kesava stitadi kim prabhaseta kim asita vrajeta kim. Arjuna Vacha Stitapragnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya kesava stitadi kim prabhaseta kim asita vrajeta kim. Arjuna Vacha Stitapragnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya kesava stitadi kim prabhaseta kim asita vrajeta kim. So, synonyms. Arjuna Vacha, Arjuna said, Sthita Pragnasya, one who is situated in fixed Krishna consciousness, ka, what? Bhasha, language, samadhi, tasya, one who is situated in trance, Kesava, O Krishna. Sthitadi, one fixed in Krishna consciousness, kim, what? Prabhaseta, speaks, kim, how? Ashita, does remain still, Vrajeta, walks, kim, how? Translation by Srivanges, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus engaged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? Please repeat. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence. How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? We'll try to understand this very important verse. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। So, discussing chapter 2, Candidates of Gita summarize verse number 54. Here, Arjuna is asking the first question in this chapter. After chapter 1, we see that observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna, it is also called Vishada Yoga, it is also called questions asked by the doubts or the demons. Doubts like demons in the heart of Arjuna. So in the different ways we can put the titles for the chapter 1. Then obviously he has no way to, he is trying to resolve his doubts. Then second chapter in the beginning he expresses one more doubt or question, that in action he couldn't find out what to do, whether to renounce or go to forest, renounce and go to forest, or do work or fight against his own family members. So out of he doesn't want to fight because of compassion for his own family members. He doesn't want to fight because of no enjoyment. If they are going to be killed, their own family members, no, and sinful activity, destruction of dynasty, unwanted population. These are the various doubts and reasons Arjuna has expressed in the first chapter. And finally he was lamenting and soka samvigna manasa, and then he was crying. He sat down on his chariot. In the second chapter beginning, his tears flowing down. Asrupurna kulekshana visidantam vidam vacha Madhusudana. Remover of the doubts, Madhusudana, killer of the demon Madhu, please remove the doubts. And then Arjuna surrendered. That was the first section. After understanding his defects, doubts, his weakness in the heart, his conditioning, so he surrendered. That was the section 1 of the chapter 2. And then section 2 is Sankhya Yoga, because Arjuna is in that condition. Obviously Krishna has to remove the major block in his understanding, that is the body and soul difference. So that is called Sankhya Yoga in brief. Great detail is in Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam of the Sankhya Yoga. I will touch upon few things here which is in connection with this verse of this creation, about this Sankhya Yoga. Then the next section was in Karma Yoga from verse number 30 to 39. Then Krishna is discussing, because you forget about body and soul, at least you should perform your duty. And because you are giving up the duty, you are trying to renounce and go somewhere out of fear, lack of faith, lack of determination, so many factors. This verse is specifically, Arjuna is asking about all this determination, fixed up consciousness. 3 times it is mentioned, repeated. So how important it is, we can understand. So third section was Karma Yoga, and then the fourth section, first section was the previous, second section was the surrender, third section was the Sankhya Yoga, fourth section was Karma Yoga, fifth section was Nishkamaka Karma Yoga, which is from verse number 40 to all the way to 53, till last week's verse. These are all coming on Nishkama. Step by step, Krishna is presenting one after another. If you don't understand the basic, then you cannot present the next. So that's why it sequentially, gradually is putting the next level of consciousness. Basically, is going gradually. So that's why it is karma yoga. First we have to understand what karma means, what action means, and then nishkam karma in brief. Because later on again Arjuna gets bewildered because everything is contents of Gita summarized in this chapter. So Krishna is presenting all yogas in summation basically. Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya Yoga also called Jnana Yoga. Then he also presented Karma Yoga. Then he also presented Nishkam Karma Yoga. Then he also presented the glimpse of Bhakti Yoga. He presented the Samadhi, Bhakti Yoga. It's extent, no, same thing. So Ashtanga Yoga, not so much, maybe here and there, indirectly. So all these are presented in systematically only, sequentially. But still Arjuna couldn't understand. That's when again, from 3rd chapter all the way till 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, elaborately Krishna is describing the same aspects in great detail. And the 18th chapter again, like 2nd chapter, is concluding, but at a little more advanced level. Same, he is presenting all the yogas, but at a higher level in the 18th chapter. In that way, this Bhagavad Gita is now. We are on the verse in the next section. This is in the section of Samadhi. So that's why, because in the last two verses, 52 and 53, Krishna is saying in last few verses actually, not only 52, before also, he is talking about buddhi, engage in your Krishna consciousness, give up all your unwanted things, come out of illusion, come out of these three modes of material nature, Traigunya Veda Vishaya, give up attachment to the results. In so many different ways Krishna is presenting. Last few verses, especially two verses, he is talking, last verse specifically, he is talking about achala buddhi, samadhi, achala buddhi, become fixed, come out of this dense forest of illusion, give up this weakness, come to the fixed up consciousness, samadhi. So that's why now Arjuna wants to understand in more detail what is this samadhi Krishna is talking about, who exactly that person is, what is his qualities, what is his symptoms. So that's why we see here Arjuna, first time Arjuna is asking the question. Till now he didn't ask. He is very humbly submitting. He is not arrogantly asking, he is very humbly submitting after listening faithfully from Krishna so long, after Krishna explaining so many verses, then only he is asking questions. He didn't ask immediately after 1-2 verses, what is this, what is that. So patiently listening is a very important quality which we need to learn. First we have to serve and listen, hear and pay attention. Then gradually we can ask questions in a submissive way. So then, 54 we see that first time Arjuna is asking the question where Arjuna Vacha, what is this? Sthita Pragnasya ka Vasha Samadhistasya Kesava. Sthita Pragna. First word is used. Sthita Pragna. Pragna means intelligent. Sthita means one who is situated in fixed up consciousness. Prabhupada translates 3 times it is there if you carefully observe. Sthita Pragnasya ka Vasha. Vasha means language. What is the language of a person who is situated and fixed up in Krishna consciousness? That is Sthita Pragna. And then Kavasha, Samadhistasya Kesava. Samadhi means again. Tasya is situated. Samadhi means Samyak Adiyate Yasmin Yata Atma Tatmam Yata Atmyam. Prabhupada explains in another place in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, same chapter, 44th verse in the translation, in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining the definition of this Samadhi. Samyak means completely. Adiyate. You are fully fixed up in the Atma, the soul. External, no deviation, no material qualities are affecting you. So we'll go a little more on this. So that is what samadhi. So again, second time is using different word, but same thing, fixed in Krishna consciousness. Sthita Prajna, Kabhasha language, and again samadhi is using samadhi stasya kesava. Oh Krishna, translated as Krishna, but here basically because fixed up consciousness means unless we surrender, unless we Kesava means Ka, Isha and Va, who is the controller of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. So Lord Vishnu is when we put tilak, the 2 lines are there, as you can see. The Lord at the bottom is the Tulsi leaf. Is there. We are servant of the Supreme Lord. In between Vishnu resides. Left one is Brahma, right side line is Shiva. So Keshava. Many meanings are there. Controller of. Also killer of KC demon, also is who has a black, beautiful black hair, so Kesha. So in so many different meanings are there, but here basically offering everything, control, offering everything, dovetailing everything into Krishna. So that is the meaning of Keshava here. Just like the Brahma and Shiva are surrendered to Lord Krishna, are engaged in his service. They are constantly meditating and serving and dovetailing everything. Same way, so we should, by following in their footsteps, we should dovetail. Then we will be able to come to samadhi. Independently, if you try to do, we will not be able to come. That is another way to look at this Kesava. Samadhistasya Kesava. Stitadi pravaseta. Stitadi again. D means intelligence. This D word is used in other places also in Bhagavad Gita beginning also. And D generally means intelligence. DHI. Sthita means situated. One who is fixed up again, proper translate, fixed up in Krishna consciousness, a transcendence, a trance. Samadhi means trance, yeah, here fixed up consciousness, fixed up intelligence. Nishchayatmika buddhi, vyavasayatmika buddhi. Different ways, proper translate in different places. So again, same thing. And then now the Arjuna's questions. First one was language. What is the language of the person who is situated in this consciousness? 3 times iterated. That means you can understand the importance of this samadhi or fixing up, dovetailing in Krishna's service. That is an important aspect of this verse. Then the question is, what is his language? Means symptoms, basically. Then he is asking, Kim Prabhaseta? How does he speak? Prabhaseta means bhasha, means speak, Prabhaseta, using his tongue. How does he speak? And then Kim Asita, how does he sit? And then Kim Vrajeta. Vrajeta means how does he walk? So he's asking 3 questions. Other than language, what are symptoms? How does he sit? How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? These are the 3 things Arjuna is asking the question. And one who is situated, because Krishna has expressed that one who is situated is asking that please come to this achala buddhi, give up everything. Means renounce, internally renounce, and come to that fixed up consciousness, achala buddhi, various ways Krishna was expressing. So that's why Arjuna has a doubt now. So who is that? Because I don't know. I am not in that consciousness. How will I know whether I am in that stage? Or if I know that stage or some symptoms, then I can gauge myself and then I can try to come to that stage. So first of all, I need to know what that stage is, what are the symptoms, so that at least I can identify and I can gauge, I have a goal. Because if one doesn't have ultimate goal, where he is going, what is the ultimate goal? So that's why this verse, had already give class on this verse before. We'll just quickly cover that, and then we'll present a little bit different examples, different topics in today's class. So where we discussed in the previous class that this verse can be looked at different ways. Is also presenting this samadhi means one must know what is our relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is sambandha jnana, relation between the jiva and the Ishvara. And then one must know what is the practice, how we can develop, increase or fix our relationship, that rasa, increase our rasa between the Supreme Lord. That is the practice aspect, which is abhideya. Then finally ultimate goal, attaining that Krishna prema, that is prayojana. So this is one way to look at it. Arjuna is asking, because I am not able to understand this relation between the jiva and the Ishvara. How do I practice and what is ultimate? How do I come to that fixed up consciousness? If somebody has to come to fix, like a master servant is there outside professional work or business, somebody is working under somebody, unless he knows the other person, unless he knows what has to be done, what he likes, what he wants me to do, what he doesn't want me to do, then how will I become really fixed up servant under that master? Whether it's a professional or business, whatever job, doesn't matter. So now this is in the spiritual realm. It's even more importance to understand. Unless we understand about Krishna and his relationship with Krishna and his qualities, his pastimes, his energies, then it is very difficult for us to go to the next level. We will not know how to practice it if we don't know what he wants us to do. Right? When we go to job, we know, IT job especially, there is certain things we are supposed to do. They clearly indicate in the interview or after interview also when we join, this is your project, this is what you have to do, this is when you have to finish the goals. So for this project or for this task. So regularly there will be one-on-one or whatever, once in few months, graduate. So all these aspects are there in IT, in the regular material world. Imagine spiritual world. It must be same thing, but at much more higher level. Concentration is more, without looking at any material avocations, or without expecting anything in return. So that is the main aspect here. So that's what is been explained. That's why Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojana is very, very important to know. Ultimate goal is to attain Krishna Prema, love for Krishna. Then automatically we can develop love for the Supreme Lord, as we were discussing. Prabhupada has given that, I think last week's class we were discussing it. In a river, or in a river, when you put, or a pond, you have to put the stone in the center. So many stones, you can put as many stones you want. Then the ripples will go in circles as it expands to the shore, but it doesn't get intersected. But if you put anywhere else, then it gets intersected. So our love must be dedicated to with Krishna in the center. Our activities, our love, and everything. Then automatically we can develop our love, or transform our love with all living entities, our family and extended family, everybody. Otherwise, it will have a material tinge. You are expecting something in return. It won't last. It won't be fruitful. It won't be real. It won't bring real happiness. The temporary happiness will be there. So that is. Then we also understand from this verse, Krishna is also basically, this verse is also teaching us, go above the three modes. We have to come to the Visuddha Sattva, not ignorance, not passion, Rajas, Tamas. We have to come to not only goodness. Goodness is also mixed with other two, the lower modes. But we have to come to that pure goodness. That is also. And then we also see this, in many places, Prabhupada is explaining this Samadhi or Sthita Prajna is also called Atma Tattva, Atma Asta. One who is situated in self. That means he understands that actually he is not the body, the spirit soul is the actual Brahman. And he also understands the Parabrahman, the Supreme Lord, and the relation between them. So in another way, that is also explained as Atma Tattva. Prabhupada, Avadhuta Brahman, Prabhupada in some classes explained as one who is in the Paramahamsa stage, the Samadhi, this stage where this explained, this verse is also talking about the qualities of a advanced devotee, qualities of a Paramahamsa Brahman or Avadhut, one who is completely devoid of any material qualities, as it is chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is emphasizing. After explaining the gradual progress of devotion service, pure devotion service brings one gradually brings one who can directly has developed love for Krishna. If he can do that, is great. If he cannot, then he has to perform Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. If he cannot do that, work for me. If he cannot do that, offer your results to me. If he cannot do that, read and hear. So in this way, Krishna is giving various levels of devotion service in chapter 12. And then at the end, Krishna is giving that. As Nitai Srivani Mata explained, Bhaktastakam, qualities of the devotee. That is what here means. One who is Atma Tattva means doesn't have any material tinges. He doesn't have this Advesta. He doesn't have enviousness. He doesn't have false ego. He doesn't have false prestige. He doesn't have pride. He is not attached to the happiness, distress. All these things are mentioned. Advesta from verse number 13th. Of Bhagavad Gita to 19th, 20th is the last verse, concluding verse, but those 7 or 8 verses, very important verses explaining about these qualities of a person who is situated in this Samadhi, who is situated in this Sthita Prajna. So that is another way. So the another way is this also dovetailing all activities of our whatever we do, everything. You must do it as offering to Krishna. That also this verse is giving the indication. It is also giving the indication that go beyond your senses, mind, intelligence. Because we are depending on our senses. Yeah, that's what this verse. Okay, maybe let's finish this and then we'll go to the actual today's little different presentation. And then it is also explaining about the qualities of an advanced devotee. And so where giving examples of Lord Shiva's, who is always meditating on Visuddha Sattva, meditating on Lord Sankarshan. He was not attracted by anybody comes approaches for some boons or benefit, he will just quickly give it and go back to his meditation. He doesn't want to get disturbed, but at the same time is very, very much very compassionate. Nobody can do his job. That's why he takes poison, everything. Nobody else can perform this kind of task. So that Lord Shiva takes the task to teach even ignorant, those who are the lowest, who is so much sinful activity they may perform, but still he accepts. At least they will come to the next level slowly, gradually. So that's why he is very asutosh. That's why. But main reason he is always meditating. Is the advanced. His consciousness is completely at the highest level. Is not doesn't have any material qualities. So is and Lord Chaitanya is also presenting like that. So in his all Chaitanya Charitamrita we see is always presenting humbly. We see a few examples. Jagadananda, conversation between Jagadananda Pandit and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and other examples we will see today. Then we see also the qualities of advanced devotee. So it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kshama, forgiveness, Nama Gana Sada Ruchi. They are always fixed up in chanting the holy name, the qualities of the Lord, hearing about qualities, Sada, always. And then Preeti the Vasati Stale, they are always situated in a holy place or they make their home holy place. Vasati Stale, Avyartha Kalatvam, they don't waste their time. The time is very important, as we can see. Prabhupada always 24/7 is always thinking how to. Never a moment he wastes. Is always thinking of how to expand, how to serve his spiritual master. Virakti, internal detachment, not external, internal detachment. Manasunyata, he doesn't have any, and he is not expecting any respect. He is ready to give respect to all other, but he doesn't expect respect. So that Manasunyata, Asha Bandha, he doesn't have any desires. He is not attached to any desire. Only desire is to serve and please his spiritual master and Supreme Lord. Eagerness, asakti, tat guna akyana, eagerness to serve and come fully attached to the lotus feet of spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. So these are the qualities that is mentioned. Now today's verse will go. So so in the first we will understand from Jagadananda Pandit. As we can see, the first example is one who is thinking always is dependent on the Lord. He is not thinking he is the doer. He is dependent on the Lord's mercy. By Lord's mercy only everything is happening. So that's what. And we see from between the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagadananda Pandit in the Antya-Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Jagadananda Pandit is not ordinary person. He is Satyabhama, came as Jagadananda Pandit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So he is always want to serve, but his mood is a little bit. He gets very quickly angry, like Satyabhama's mood is also like that. So same way his mood is like that in this Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Gaur Leela also. Where so in this pastime, there are many pastimes we'll try to see. So in Madhya Leela chapter 22, 101 verse onwards, we see that. So where basically Chaitanya he goes to Bengal, he goes to Mayapur and meets Mother Sachi and others, Advaita Acharya and others, and then he brings nice sandalwood oil to rub on the head. Generally, even for when Prabhupada was taking massage also, sandalwood oil is used for the head, and rest of the whole body massage, mustard oil is used. Because Prabhupada is using his body, he doesn't need massage. He doesn't need anybody to serve him. But because he's completely 24/7, his sleep is 2 hours to 4 hours. He's constantly traveling, but it doesn't stop. Even when he's traveling, he comes to the new place and then he again, Mangalarti, morning walk, everything goes. Translation, early morning, everything, nothing stops. No jet lag, nothing. So he's accepting the service of his disciples. So we shouldn't be thinking externally, why Prabhupada is accepting, taking a massage. So, because that is another quality of a devotee. He's always thinking how to serve, how to keep a body fit, healthy, to serve the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. That is why Prabhupada is taking. Otherwise, he doesn't need to. So, the same way, so here Jagadananda Pandit, what he did, he brought a nice sandalwood oil made up with a lot of fragrance, different oils mixed with, brought it to serve the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servant Govinda. Give it to Mahaprabhu and use this for his head so that he cools down. Mahaprabhu always agitated in his mind. He's always thinking in separation of Krishna because he's coming in the mood of Srimati Radharani, trying to understand her mood, her love for Krishna. So in that way, he's always in that mood of agitation. So he wants to cool down. So then Mahaprabhu told, no, I'm a sannyasi. Again, the same thing is the same representation of samadhi. One who is not attached. Mahaprabhu is teaching by lesson, so by his own example. So Mahaprabhu told Govinda, I'm a sannyasi, I cannot accept this. And what is this? Sandalwood oil? Tomorrow you will say, so everybody will think that I'm a Dari sannyasi. So I'm not a real sannyasi. So that Mahaprabhu didn't accept. He told, give it. Rather, he spent so much time and energy into this to make this oil. Give it in Jagannath temple. They will use it to burn a lamp. So that is a wonderful way to utilize his resources and his time and everything. So then Govinda tried, and his Sarup Damodar Goswami is associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lalita and Vishaka, Ramananda Rai and Sarup Damodar, very close to Srimati Radharani. So they are there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela also. Sarup Damodar Goswami also tried. Jagadananda Pandit heard this, and then he told Sarup Damodar, please you try again. Then Sarup Damodar Goswami tried again. Mahaprabhu told, no way, I cannot take this. I am sannyasi, I cannot take these oils and all. Then Sarup Damodar has narrated what has happened to Jagadananda. Jagadananda Pandit got very angry. Then Mahaprabhu told, no, you give it to Jagannath Puri, they will use it. I cannot use this. So then he was very angry. He took the oil and he immediately, right in front of Mahaprabhu, he threw it in front of him and broke that whole thing. He was very angry, he upset. He immediately left the place. He went back to home. He closed his door. He locked the door inside. He locked him up and he stayed inside for days. He didn't eat anything. Then Mahaprabhu knows the mood of Jagadananda Pandit. Then he said, then understanding this mood and heard what is happening, then Mahaprabhu told, okay, I am coming today. He called up, he informed him that I am coming, now cook for me. I want to eat by your own hands what you cook. So I am coming. So here now here's the conversation. How Mahaprabhu is telling, he was such a wonderful cook, and by his wonderful mood and devotion, even though he was angry, still everything came out perfect and good, great, wonderful quality of so tasty. I never tasted before like that. And then he is praising. Then see Jagadananda Pandit, how he took it, what he is saying. That is important instruction we can see here. Yeah. This is in 12th chapter of Antalila, 12th chapter, 131 verse. Krodeswara pakerahaya aiche swada aite janiye tumaya Krishnera prasad. He is telling, when you even cook in angry mood, food is very delicious. This shows how pleased Krishna is with you. Krishna personally eats the food, makes you cook nicely. Apane kaibe Krishna tatara chagiya tomara haste paka karaya uttama kariya. He makes you cook nicely. Krishna is giving that intelligence. Personally, Krishna is eating the food and he is giving you how to cook. And then he is further telling, Aiche Amruta Anna Krishna Kara Samarpana Tomara Bhagyera Sindra Ke Kare Varnana. Who can estimate? You are such a nectarian, you are offering such a nectarian rice to Krishna. Who can estimate the limit of your fortune? Then now we see that Jagadananda Pandit, Jagadananda Pandit's reply, you can see. He who will eat this cooked rice has cooked this. He who will eat has cooked this. That means he is telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who is eating, and Lord Krishna is also eating. So he is the one who has cooked. I didn't cook. And he is telling, as far as I am concerned, I am simply collecting the ingredients. Pandita kahe, ye kai bhi Sri Paka Karta. Ami Saba Kevala Matra Samagri Aharta. Means I am just I am just instrument, I am just collecting these ingredients. These ingredients also given by the Lord. I am just collecting, I am just instrument. Actually, I am not cooking, I am not intelligent how to cook. So everything is Krishna is doing, everything is the person who is eating, he is the one who is cooking, who is doing everything. I am just a puppet. So this is the mood. So there in the chapter, wonderful rasa is there, wonderful conversation. Later on also in the next chapter also, in this chapter at the end, it is mentioned, one who understands, one who reads and understands this conversation of loving exchanges between Jagadananda Pandit and Mahaprabhu, he attains Krishna Prema very quickly. It is mentioned, Jagadananda Prema Vaivarta Sne Ye Jana, one who listens, one who hears. Jagadananda Pandit has written Prema Vaivarta. There is one book, Prema Vaivarta, where beautiful descriptions of all these pastimes. Or either you read that book or from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Premera Swarupa Jane Paya Premadana. So anyone who hears loving exchanges achieve Krishna Prema. Let me take it. Hold on. So that's what is explained here. Anyone who hears having exchanges achieve Krishna Prema. Yeah. So there is another place where Jagadananda Pandit, another beautiful pastime, again showing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Jagadananda Pandit, after this incident happened, again next incident also happens, where he tried to see, he built a nice quilt, because Mahaprabhu was lying down on a bark of banana plant or something, very raw, nothing is there, no pillow, nothing, no cushion, nothing. You are sleeping like that. He is seeing that Jagadananda Pandit is getting very agitated. Then what he did, he took some of the things, natural things, and he made a quilt, and he made a pillow, and he gave that to his assistant. He used it in Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu saw while he is lying down, what is this? Just give this. I am sannyasi. I cannot accept this. Then today you brought this. Tomorrow you will bring a bedstead. And also all other things. This is not for me. I cannot accept this, any of these things. So then Mahaprabhu rejected all this. Then he was very angry. Already previously he broke that sandalwood oil whole thing. And now today the second incident happened. Then he was very angry. Then he had expressed his desire. He wants to go to Vrindavan. Then this time now he is very angry. Then he told Mahaprabhu, I want to go to Vrindavan. He didn't give permission. Mahaprabhu didn't give permission. Then he approached through Sarup Damodar Goswami. Then finally, by his order, then Mahaprabhu said, all right, but one condition, you must go to be under the guidance of Sanatana Goswami when you go to Vrindavan. Don't talk intimately with Vrindavan Vasis. They are at a different level than you. So don't talk, be very respectful. When you go to Varanasi, through Varanasi you go, until Varanasi you can go by your own. But from Varanasi you take Kshatriyas, because there is so many dacoits are there on that way. So don't try to go alone. So take Kshatriya's help and then go. So in this way Mahaprabhu instructs, finally gives. So when Jagadananda Pandit goes and meets Sanatana Goswami, then both of them used to converse and sees the whole Vrindavan. Sanatana Goswami takes him. And then one day, so Jagadananda Pandit invited Sanatana Goswami, okay, come, I'm cooking, please come and take prasad. So then he came. Then this time what he did, Sanatana Goswami is a great, learned scholar, is also great renunciate. They were only sleeping 2 hours. They rejected everything Nawab Hussain Shah's Prime Minister and Finance Minister, Prabhu Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Rejected everything on the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They have taken, they are staying in Vrindavan, excavating the holy places and preaching. And Sanatana Goswami is very much always, all the citizens of Vrindavan likes Sanatana Goswami. He used to meet with them, he used to take their concerns, he used to give instructions. So he used to serve them in so many different ways. So one of the sannyasi, Mukunda one of the Mukunda Ramachandra or something, one of the sannyasi, he has given red cloth as a gift to Sanatana Goswami. So when he is coming, he tied his red cloth to his head, and then he went to Jagadananda Pandit's home to honor Prasad. Then Jagadananda Pandit seeing, then immediately was very much kind of already upset seeing this red cloth. So then he asked, is this cloth given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Then immediately Sanatana, no. So he has, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, he understood the mood of the, and so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a deep love for you than me. So, because he didn't receive this cloth, how come? Yeah, he didn't receive anything, but Mahaprabhu has given to him. In that way, he was thinking. But Sanatana was explained. Then further, he chastised, Jagadananda Pandit chastised Sanatana Goswami. If you have so much love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how can you accept another sannyasi's cloth and tying it on your head? You are trying, and that means you don't have love. Then he is expressing, then Sanatana Goswami expressed, yes, I want to, that is the reason. My whole thing is, I tied the cloth to get a lesson from you, to really get chastised by the pure devotee, chastised by you. That is the reason and my idea, my thought was fulfilled, my desire was fulfilled. And, beautifully, yeah, that's what it is. This is in 13th chapter of Antilila, verse number 56 to 60. So, beautiful verses are there. I'm trying to see, I didn't write down that, but anyway. So, this is one of the example. Now, we can see also the example of Haridas Thakur. How, even before that, maybe because Ram Navami is coming up, we can see Hanuman's example of his great determination to serve the Supreme Lord, serve his spiritual master. Who was his spiritual master? Hanuman's spiritual master is Hanuman. The spiritual master is Surya. One day he approaches sun. He is very powerful, Hanuman, from his birth itself. So he approached the sun god and told him, I want to take knowledge from you. I want to receive the knowledge from you. So please be my guru. Then sun god said, no, I am tired. Whole day I am running around this whole Brahmanda. And then in the night also, it's the whole day it's going on. So I cannot, there is no time. I cannot instruct you. Then he said, Hanuman insisted, no. I will be there as you are running around throughout the time. I will just stay in front of your chariot. So because Hanuman is so powerful, he will not be that glaring effulgence, it won't melt Hanuman. That powerful Hanuman is. So he stayed in his front, and then sun god was instructing in this way. So he received the transcendental knowledge. So that's why actually it is mentioned that the Hanuman is the one who has taught. He is the Siddha. He is all the Siddhis, yogis, has these 9 Siddhis. Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Prakamya, Ishta, Vasita, where smaller than, you can become smaller than smallest, you can become the larger than the largest, you can become heavier than the heaviest, lighter than lighter. That means you can bring also things like from different places. As soon as you desire, it will come. So just like in this Kumbh Mela, some of these yogis, they appear suddenly from somewhere. So they can, by desire, because of these siddhis of yogic perfection, they come. But Hanuman had all of them. He just used, he was not thinking, I'm great yogi. So he was not, he was using for Lord service. That's all. But in others, yogis' case, that's not the case. They are showing to others. But here, Hanuman never did that. Rather, we see that before this, after this. So go learn. And then he asked, what is a boon? I want to give you a, what do you call it, Guru Dakshina, because he has received the knowledge. So then he said, please take care of my son Sugriva. My son Sugriva, take care of him, always guide him, help him. So that is what sun god said. All right, he said. So Sugriva is, because one time there was a incident of this sun god and Indra, both were attracted by, there was a, I think, Riksharaj or Riksha, his name. This is in the I think monkeys clan, monkeys family. But actually they are not. Monkeys means we think that ordinary monkeys. But actually, in as you go up to the higher planets, we are in the Bhuloka, earthly planet, Bhu and Bhuvar, Swar, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka. As we go up, there are planets of Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, Siddhas, Charanas, Vidyadharas. So in these, so the Kinnaras and Kimpurushas are like monkeys category actually. Now we see the monkeys, but it is not of the same category. They have much more higher powers, and they are situated in a higher platform. So this is one of that. So the Riksha Raj here. So he was one time he fell in a pond or a river or something where he became a woman. So the personality. Then he was then as soon as he became a girl, he was attracted by sun god, and he became a beautiful girl. Then he was attracted by sun god and Indra. So then both married, both had child. So Indra had Vali, and by Indra and her this Riksha Raj became the association came Vali, and then from sun god and her came from that association came Sugriva. So that's how this Vali and Sugriva came. So then that's when sun god has given instructed Hanuman, take care of Sugriva and help him. So that's why we see that later on Hanuman met Sugriva and then helped him in different ways. So his problem, Vali was there, and then he met with Lord Ramchandra and helped him to basically condemn Vali, and basically finally he had to. There is no other choice or way but to basically kill Vali. So there's a different instruction from there. But anyway, so this is the one of the, we can see how Hanuman was very much always devoted to his spiritual master, determination to serve his spiritual master no matter what. That was his duty. And also we see that when Valmiki as Muni written Ramayana, Hanuman is always singing the glories of Lord Ramchandra. Then as Hanuman was also has written as always glorifying Lord Ram. Then Valmiki Muni has heard about this, that he has also written beautiful poem, beautiful glories of Lord Ram. Then he wants to hear that. Then when he goes and meets and hears this, then immediately he was very much captivated and attracted. And then at the same time he was overshadowed by my whatever I wrote is nothing. This compared to these glories, this past what you wrote, Hanuman. Then immediately Hanuman understood. So Hanuman didn't write for his fame, didn't write to get glorification. So immediately Hanuman, what did he broke? He on the stones, on the sand, he wrote on the stone. He wrote all these different poems, glorification of Lord Ram. Then he broke all of them into pieces. Nothing was. He made it basically void. Nothing was there. So they just so that Valmiki, whatever Ramayana he has written, so that will go on. So and he will not come in the middle. He doesn't want to become famous. So we can see the determination to serve. So this is Mana Sunyata, one of the advanced devotees qualities, as we can see. He is not expecting any fame. He doesn't have any. So that's why it is Hanuman. The meaning is also mentioned. One meaning is Hanyata Man. Man means ego. One who has killed the false ego. One who has conquered the ego. So that is Hanuman. So he always serving his spiritual master, and we see always serving the Supreme Lord. Even when we see that also when Hanuman was when Ravan had many his associates and brothers. Vibhishana is there. Vibhishana obviously instructed. There is also one personality. Generally, we don't know much talked about. I think one lady demon, Akampana. So she was the culprit to talk about or instruct to Ravan actually to basically kidnap Sita, bring Sita. So she is the one who actually, and then she was hidden behind and seeing everything, how Lord Ram killed Ravan. So actually she is the one of the culprit for this whole thing, for Ravana to do this activity actually. So anyway, so we're talking about Hanuman. So as when they started fighting, Lord Ramchandra went for a war with Ravan. So at that time, he sent different associates. Now this time, his associate or his son, Mahiravan, I think his son, He's there all the way in Patal, one of the lower planets. He doesn't want to. He doesn't. He didn't get aligned with this idea of abducting Sita Devi. That he didn't like it. Because he was the worshipper of Kali. So then somehow or the other, Ravan somehow he told, and these are the beautiful boys, Ram and Lakshman, you can offer to Kali. So then he finally somehow or the other he agreed, and then he came to fight. Then he took somehow or the other Ram and Lakshman, and then he took all the way to Patal and is ready to give the sacrifice somehow or the other by the yogic power. And so then that time Hanuman goes there, and then by his power and strength, so he serves them, and somehow or the other he brings them. He told he speaks in the Lord Ramchandra's and Lakshman ear that to say something where when he cannot bow down, rather he talks in a way where actually the what is the name, the Mahiravan actually bows down. Rather, it opposite happens. So where, because when the person who is going to be killed, who is going to be given sacrifice, they are supposed to bow down their head, and then they will be basically chopped. So, but rather they instructed in a way that so they cheated. So by somehow or the other, Hanuman's mercy, Hanuman's power. So it happened opposite way, where Lord Ram and Lakshman basically cheated Mahiravan, and then Mahiravana was killed, actually given the sacrifice this way. Then Hanuman brought Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman in this way. So showing his determination to serve the Lord, and he never wanted his glories to be spread. Actually, he is always trying to glorify Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman, the whole. So in this way, we can see his determination, and there are many throughout Ramayana. We can see Hanuman's glories everywhere. There is also that when he comes, when he brings the whole thing after the whole war was over, when even Hanuman is on with Lord Ramchandra and Sita Devi and Lakshman. Then they were traveling, they were going back to Ayodhya, and then on the way, then Hanuman says, no, stop, give me a few minutes, I will go and meet, I pay my obeisances, offer my prayers, my obeisances, respects to Anjana, my mother Anjana. Then he says, no, we want to meet, they all want to meet also. Then Lord Ramchandra goes along with Hanuman, goes and meet Anjana. There then Anjana, because Anjana is very proud of her breast milk. So basically, that is a natural benediction. So that's why Lord Hanuman is very, very powerful. Actually, very, very powerful. There is also mentioned as Panchamukha. Hanuman is very powerful. Each head is different, looking at different direction. Different amsas are there too. One is Ananta is there, Varaha is there. Few things are mentioned. So I didn't get into the detail, but so that Hanuman is not ordinary, full of perfection, is always serving the lotus feet of the Lord Ramchandra. Anyway, here in this case, so Mother Anjana, then Hanuman explained everything to Anjana, what has happened, how this whole Ravan, Lord Ramchandra killed Ravan, how he helped and whatever, assisted in a way. Then she was very much upset. What kind of person are you? I have given you breast milk. You could have done. So why did you give so much trouble and so much time? Lord Ramchandra had to spend all the way, go there and fight with Ravan and so much. You could have done this. My breast milk is so powerful. You could have killed. You could have done this whole thing by yourself. Why did you do this? So this is not. This is a shame. Shame on you. So you didn't use it. Your energy or strength. You wasted it. So in this way, actually, she chastised. Everybody is upset. Why is he talking about? Why is she exaggerating the power of her breast milk? So why is he talking about her own glories? Lakshmana especially was thinking. Then later on, she showed her power actually. By her breast milk, just she sprinkled on the mountain, then it broke into two pieces. So that kind of power it is. I think she had a boon or something. Anyway, then Hanuman explained, no, actually in reality I tried. I asked Mother Sita that can I take you back to Lord Ramachandra. So then Mother Sita didn't express. Actually, she doesn't want. She want. It is the husband's duty to liberate, husband's duty to take me. It is not your duty. So that's why I only burned Lanka. I taught the lesson. I gave the instruction to Ravana. So because of that, I didn't fulfill. Otherwise, then she was happy. So in this way, there also we can see. So Lord Hanuman never wanted his glories to be spread. He always followed. He always served Mother Sita. Always followed the instruction of Mother Sita. He is not going by his own. That means he is not doesn't have independence, because that is what samadhi means. There are 6 characteristics as mentioned last week we were discussing. Accepting the favorable things, rejecting unfavorable things. So he is accepting whatever favorable things which he has come, and he went to all the way while going. So many demons come also. So some or the other, those are unfavorable, rejecting unfavorable things. So even so, whether it's favorable or unfavorable, he just with the determination he went on further. And then being humility, meek and humble, self-surrender. Whether he is actually whether his own desire, or whether it's it is Lord's desire. He is not going by his own desire. So that's what self-surrender means. You accept whatever it helps to the Lord or spiritual master. That's what you will do, whether you like it or not, whether it's you're thinking, you're planning to do that or not, but you will be ready to do that. So, but here in this case, so Hanuman just simply served Mother Sita in the way she wanted. It is not the way he wanted it. So that is what always, whenever we are serving a devotee, whenever we are serving superiors, elders, or parents, we have to serve in a way they like it. As long as time, place, circumstance is there, but at least, especially in devotees and spiritual master, we should be serving always in the way they like it. When we are serving prasadam or whatever it is, whatever. So we should follow and try to serve always in that way. So Hanuman tried to do that, serve in a way pleasing to them. So we see the many of these instructions from Ramayana, just giving a few of these, so that we understand these qualities of this samadhi, means one who is fixed up in devotion service. So many obstacles Hanuman had to go through, and we see. So Prabhupada, one example I can give, a real example, practical example. So actual fixed up in Krishna consciousness means we can see Prabhupada's real example. We can see when he was flying from Singapore to Australia. Pushta Krishna Prabhu is there, and then I think Prabhupada's secretary, someone was there, Srutakirti Prabhu or someone else was there in that flight. And this is in Singapore to Australia. Then at some point, suddenly it hit a air pocket or something, suddenly dropped. The plane all the way, almost 5,000, 10,000 feet, few seconds. Like everybody was like in chaos, everybody was agitated, everybody is completely in a devastated condition, because this is the reality, practical situation. So then Pushta Krishna Prabhu was chanting ferociously, chanting vigorously, and he don't know what to do. And then he went to see Prabhupada, and he went, and Prabhupada was completely, he was not at all bothered. He was just simply natural. He is not even thinking, like he was not afraid or he was not agitated or anything. Then Prabhupada rather told him, at any moment we can die. That's what Prabhupada told. Is practically operating on that platform of one who is fully fixed up in Krishna, one who is fully situated on this stage of samadhi. So then he is not attracted or disturbed by the external circumstances. Then another example also we see in another route of, I think, while going to South Africa or other place. So South Africa or again another place, then where too many rugby people were there, they were all smoking in a non-smoking area. Then Pushta Krishna Prabhu was there, Prabhupada was there. Then Pushta Krishna Prabhu basically complained to the air hostess that these are all smoking, these are non-smoking, these are all smoking. So then they basically, air hostess told them, but after she went again, they didn't listen, obviously. These are the rugby people. So they didn't listen. Then again, second time also he did. So obviously this went on. Then Prabhupada told him, he told Pushta Krishna Prabhu, that why are you so much agitated, worried? What is the difference? If you are also complaining, if you cannot tolerate these things, then how can, then what is the difference between them and you? What is the difference, Prabhupada? So, the Prabhupada, you can see, what is this quality, what is this consciousness, how he is fully absorbed. He was not agitated, he was not, he is completely tolerated these things. So, that is what actually Samadhi means. When it comes, theory, it is very good, everything is nice and good, but when it comes to practical, when we have a family problem or a health problem, job problem, any problem we face in reality, then it's really that is the actual situation we have to face, and we see how much we are actually fixed in shelter of the Supreme Lord. That's what we can. This is explained. Prabhupada was explaining this in the beginning of, I think, in Srimad Bhagavatam, one place. Where is it? One place where it is explained that, about the creation. So I was explaining about the Sankhya Yoga, right? So the relation between this one who is just like when creation has happened, first it was the ether, then the sound. From sound it came sparsha, touch, then the air. The touch is air. Then from that air, then again the what is it? Form, rupa, shabda, sparsha to air, and then the ether to sound, shabda, then touch, sparsha, and then the air, basically, that is air, and then from there the rupa, form, then fire, that form, rupa, fire, from there then rasa, taste, that is water, then gandha, that is scent, that is earth. This way, this is gradually, one by one, by the, obviously the glance of the Supreme Lord is there by his power indirectly. So these elements one by one were produced. In the same way, these elements, same way it is there, that sparsha, the touch, the living entity, one who is fixed up in Krishna consciousness, he is not agitated by this sparsha, his touch element. He is not attract. Somebody might provoke the situation. Some many things may happen around us, but nothing will bother. So is always taking the shelter of completely taking the shelter of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. As Mahaprabhu is praying in the verse number 5. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam bujo krupaya tavapada pankaja stitaduli sadrusam vichintaya. So he's telling, I am suffering in the ocean of nescience or ignorance, in this material ocean. Please pick me up. Like Prabhupada gives example, like a friend. If you are suffering, then obviously you take the help of a friend. And so same way, so one who is in the ocean, somehow or the other, something happened, you have to swim in the ocean. If somebody comes and picks you up from that ocean, how fortunate you will be, how much you will be saved. The same way here Mahaprabhu is saying that, comparing this material world, we go through so many difficulties. So let me be I am your eternal servant. Let me be always your eternal. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram, means always eternal. I don't possess anything. I want to be your eternal servant. Kinkaram patitam mam vishame. I have fallen down into the ocean of nescience. Patitam mam vishame bhavam. Krupaya, by your mercy, please pick me up from this ocean of nescience and save me. Keep me at your lotus, dust of your lotus feet. Krupaya tavapada pankaja. Means the toenails, the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. This is the Mahaprabhu showing by his own example. So that is the essence of this verse, basically. Never should be disturbed by constant practice of serving the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. Then gradually we can come to this stage of following the bhakti, as it is mentioned as first one is prakruta stage, pratyaksha stage, direct perception. Whatever we see, we believe in, we accept. We are all in the bodily concept of life most of the time. Then paroksha, we are taking the knowledge through disciplines and vidhi through rules and regulations. And then next comes aparoksha. Aparoksha means gradually then realization. As we follow this Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, realization will come, that is called aparoksha. Then we come to the transcendental, gradually from Santaras, gradually we come to that is called adokshaja. When we come to that highest stage, we develop real love for Krishna, that is aprakruta stage, that is the highest stage, one who is in the Paramahamsa stage, not disturbed by any material qualities. So many disturbances Prabhupada had to face. People stole, disciples, some of his disciples stole money from the temple and used there for own, fell down, so many things they did. But Prabhupada never was agitated, never was lost his determination or faith. So much difficulty everywhere. There is Bombay project and so many projects. Even now we see in Russia they're trying to they're trying to put a case against devotees, trying to ban the Sankirtan. This even at that time also it is Russia very difficult to enter China, but by Prabhupada's mercy we can see Prabhupada had to go through. And even when Prabhupada was there were deprogrammers who abducted many of his disciples, even Mataji's also. Then when they came back, then Prabhupada was very happy. Personally, Prabhupada wanted to serve them, nicely take care of them. He was very happy. He was conversing with them. He was instructing them. So very personal compassion and love. He was not disturbed. Everything is fully dependent on the Lord's. Whatever is happening, these incidents do happen. Different problems we see, different devotees facing, whether it's Russia or health problems or whatever situation. But the pure devotee is never disturbed or agitated. He is always fixed up. He is always dependent on the Lord. He is always dependent on the Lord and spiritual master. So that's what we can learn from this verse. And we see that also the lower modes are operating. We are operating on this while performing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. The passion is too much. Mainly we can see from Nalakuvar and Manigriva also story. Because of the one who is infatuated with wealth, material wealth, different kinds of wealth, whether it's money or other things, whatever. So because of that, they didn't even cover their bodies. One who is infatuated with his wealth, one who is proud of their wealth and possessions, they will be performing in three, especially the intoxication, sinful activity, the four regulative principles, especially gambling, intoxication, sex life. These three things they do. One who is infatuated with this material wealth and possessions. So that's why it is because operating on the mode of passion, very much high passion. So one of the only way they can be delivered is then they didn't even cover their bodies when Naradaman is walking in and seeing. But the lady is covered, but now they didn't even cover. You can imagine why is he walking here? Rather, they are thinking negatively about the sage. So that's why it's very important to give up the passion. We have to try to at least operate on the mode of goodness. That's why we have to chant in the morning. That's why we have to hear, we have to read, try to practice this timing of a day in the morning, early hours as much as possible. Gradually we have to practice this. That's why it is mentioned. Tapa, austerity, penance, charity, sacrifices, all these are Samadhi means, another meaning is one who sacrifices everything for the pleasure of Krishna. In a few of the classes Prabhupada is mentioning. So that is what Samadhi means. One who is always sacrificing. You can see throughout the whole life, Prabhupada sacrificed his whole life for serving the spiritual master and Supreme Lord. And many of his disciples we can see, Vishnu Jan Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Jayananda Prabhu, completely sacrificed. Whatever money they got, everything they gave. They were working 2 jobs, 3 jobs also, and then they are serving. They are taking the charity donations. They are fully serving from morning to evening. So whatever they will learn, even if they don't know anything, they will learn and do it. So this is fully sacrificed. They are not looking for anything. So whatever prasadam, sometimes they didn't even get enough prasad. Even Prabhupada also didn't get sometimes. He just took one puri, sometimes he just took milk, sometimes nothing also. You can imagine. So at the age of that age, we are everything is comfortable. We have nothing much to sacrifice. Only sacrifice we have to do is time. That itself we have a hard time. That itself we are thinking. So little difficulty comes, then we are asking why Lord you are doing this, doing that, to me. So we question the Lord. When time is given, when everything is there, given, Krishna is giving, that time we don't actually question the Lord. Even though I am not qualified, why are you giving? That time we don't question. But when something a little bit happens, difficulty, then we definitely question the Lord. That means our faith is weak. We are not operating on the mode of goodness, rather we are in the mode of passion or ignorance. So this is the problem. So that's why we have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord through devotees, through a spiritual master, and try to serve, try to chant, try to increase our reading and hearing. Then gradually, by the association of pure devotee, only we can actually develop these qualities and give up these lower modes and come to this samadhi fixed up, just like Arjuna did. Moments. It takes only moments actually, but it is just because our faith is weak, we are not able to fix it up. But as earlier for Katvanga Maharaj and many others, it took only a few minutes to come to that fixed up consciousness. So, but for us it will take time. So, depending on how much fire we put in, how much real intense greed we put in towards Krishna, to that extent, actually our heart will melt. Our attraction for Krishna and spiritual master and the holy name, especially for holy name, first we must develop that attraction. Then gradually it can change. Nama to Rupa, Rupa to Guna, Guna to pastimes will happen. But unless we develop that attraction for Nama, holy name, then we cannot understand, understand the Lord's, this will of the providence, understand Lord's plan. Because we don't have actual proper attraction or faith for the holy name itself. We can see Haridas Thakur, full faith, no difficulty. Even he had to go through so many difficulties. 21 marketplace he was beaten. No, he didn't even, he rather actually blessing them. Lord, be compassionate, forgive them. That's what Haridas Thakur. Second time when Ramachandra Khan did the offensive activities and prostitute, rather he blessed even prostitute also. He didn't take anything negative to Ramachandra. He knows exactly what is happening. He left that place. He instructed her to serve Tulsi Maharani, be there and situated and chant nicely. He left there. The second time again it happened. He went to Balaram Acharya's place and where Raghunath Das Goswami. How did Raghunath Das Goswami get the mercy? Prabhupada explained the first time he received the mercy, Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of this Hiranya Majumdar and Govinda Majumdar. He was son of Govinda Majumdar, Govardhan Majumdar. They both were there where Balaram Acharya used to engage in satsang, kirtan, chanting. Then he takes Haridas Thakur to their place. There Haridas Thakur has given the mercy to their son of Govardhan Majumdar, Raghunath Das Goswami. That's actually the first mercy received. How Raghunath became Raghunath Das Goswami later on. So by the mercy association and mercy received from Haridas, so you can understand the importance of great devotees association. There also at that place he was talking, glorifying Haridas Thakur explaining the glories of holy name. Just by sun, as soon as sun comes out, all the fog, everything will disappear. All the thieves, everything will go away as soon as sun comes. Just by the, just the fog, not even fully. Sun didn't come fully, but as soon as little bit comes, whatever you call that in English. So the same way, the holy name, when we come to that, just the glimpse of the Nama Bas, that immediately it will. Liberation, this is the second, this is nothing. Actually, we come to that Krishna Prem very quickly. By Nama Bas, we will be removed of sinful activity, we come to the liberation. And then with Suddhanam, we develop Krishna Prem. So when Haridas Thakur has mentioned, by simply chanting one time, this liberation happens with Nama Bas, even one time uttering. Then Gopal, Gopal Chapel, he was very much, he was not faithful, he doesn't have faith in Shastra properly, he was not properly situated. Then immediately, no, how can you tell like this? Where did it write in Shastra? One time, then so many people could have got liberated. Then he was talking like that. Then Haridas Thakur explained, no, you don't know the actual Shastras clearly giving evidence. And then he quotes 3-4 verses are there. Then later on, then he leaves that place. Then Balaram Acharya and then other two Govardhan, they chastise him. They curse him that next 2-3 days you will suffer greatly. by cursing, by talking in this way to a pure devotee of the Lord. Then in the same way, so Lord obviously, even though Haridas Thakur didn't take it as an offense, but actually Lord has taken an offense by talking in this way to a pure devotee and talking against the holy name. Then in 3 days he got leprosy and his nose fell off and everything. He suffered greatly. Haridas Thakur, hearing this, he felt really bad. He left that place also. Then he went to a place where he went to meet Advaita Acharya Prabhu's place. There he was serving. There also, I think before that he was sitting in a cave. He was sitting in a cave. See, next place. There also again, external energy of the Lord came as Maya Devi, allured him in a beautiful, attractive form with an attractive dress. Haridas Thakur, same thing as prostitute, he told, whole day, wait, I'll give you the association. Chanted whole day, next day, third day. Then he told, what are you doing? Then by his chanting, then she was also again attracted by the holy name. Then he left. Then he gave blessing. Haridas Thakur gave blessing to her. Also, in this way, she also received blessing, external energy of the Lord. This Haridas Thakur is this way. He was not agitated. He was fully determined. On holy name, he was fully attracted. So then he goes to Advaita Acharya Prabhu's place and meets. And then he was always hearing under Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya started praying Tulsi water to call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down. And then Haridas Thakur also. These two persons, not just Advaita Acharya, even Haridas Thakur was also intensely chanting and calling the Lord to come down. So by both personalities, Brahma Haridas Thakur is Lord Brahma, appeared in this way because he has asked for a boon. I want to be like in a humble way. I want to serve in that way. I don't want to become because of the offense when I created in Krishna Leela, Brahmanda God, where I abducted all your coward boys, your friends, your associates. So I don't want to be in that. Rather to purify that offense, to learn lesson. I want to become a humble servant. So that's why he appeared in the Mohammedan family in that way. Brahma Haridas is called, and Advaita Acharya Prabhu. In this way, both of them called the Lord to come down. So in this way, we received the mercy. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why both personalities are very important. So we should take the mercy of Haridas Thakur. And tomorrow is also very important. Ramanuja Acharya's appearance day tomorrow. We can see he is also stalwart, fully determined to serve his spiritual master. Initially, the spiritual master is Yadav Prakash. He was completely in Brahmavadi, impersonalist. He was teaching Shankara philosophy. Then one time one of student came and expressed a doubt of Chandogya Upanishad. Then he couldn't. He gave a explanation in such a way that it was actually diminishing the quality of a Supreme Lord. Then Ramanujacharya cried, hearing that explanation. Tears flowed down, and he was massaging the Yadav Prakash. The tears fell down on Yadav Prakash. Then Yadav Prakash asked, "What is the problem? What happened? Why are you crying?" Then he explained why he is crying. Then he told, because the way he explained, but Yadav Prakash couldn't accept it because he's in a Brahman platform. He couldn't accept it. Disciple is speaking. Then he said, "Okay, what is your explanation?" Then he explains about the perfectly wonderful in a transcendental way that the way you are explaining it is like actually Lord has a form. He has a transcendental qualities. Is above, then it is not just sunlight. Beyond that, there is a sun globe. He was giving the same examples. Visishtadvaita. That is what Ramanujacharya preached. In this way, then not only first time, then again he became angry. Then he leaves. Then second time also happens. Another student comes and asks something about from some other Upanishad. Then same thing happened. Then again Ramanujacharya explained. 2 times it happened. Then he became so upset and angry. Yadav Prakash, go and open your own school. Then obviously Ramanujacharya quietly, but he was very humble. He was submitting very humbly. He never took it as arrogant. He never took it as I know better than my guru. No, he always submitted. Only his guru, he is not rightly situated. That's why he actually didn't take it in the right way. And so then finally Ramanujacharya left that place because the guru has told him. Then he left and he was preaching the message. And then gradually, then Yadav Prakash became so upset, then so angry that they devised a plan to kill him. Then Ramanacharya hearing the news somehow, then he moved to Kanchipuram later on. So there's by the mercy of the Lord, then finally he hears about the Yamuna Acharya, he goes there to meet him. But by the time when he heard that he was ill and is about to pass away, then he wants to meet him and make spiritual master take diksha from him. But by the time he goes, he already left. But then he instructs. Then later on, he has taken from, I forget, from his spiritual who has taken. I think I forget his name. Ramanacharya has taken finally diksha from another personality. So there are so many wonderful pastimes of Ramanacharya's determination, Ramanacharya's compassion and love, and all this, whatever we see, samadhi, fully fixed up. He is Anantasesh, obviously, incarnate Anantasesh. He is preaching left and right. So he didn't budge anything. So fully expanded the mission of Sri Sampradaya, of his spiritual masters' instructions. So especially for Munacharya. So he received so many instructions. Also he served, he is a spiritual master also. So with that we'll stop here at 9:29. Any questions? Quick questions. So this is a very huge topic. So it's not a one class thing. So about this aspect of what is asking Arjuna's questions here. What does he speak? How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? Means what is how the person is situated in actually. That sit means actually how is his situation? How is his senses? How is his mind? How is his intelligence? How is he operating on? What is he situated on? How is he situated basically in his day-to-day dealings, day-to-day activities, practical, not theory. And then how does he walk? Means whether he is, how does he speak? Means he speak. Many people may speak wonderful, nice things, but when it comes to actual practical application, when he is actually practicing, they are not showing by his own example. So that's why the walk. How does he walk? Walk the talk. So that's why all these three things were asked. These are the main symptoms one must know, one must understand. Whether one is advanced means there is always achar and prachar. Both means is speaking and is also practicing what he is speaking. So both Mahaprabhu has taught by his own example. Mr. Prabhupada has taught by his own example. He is following, then only he is instructing. Wake up for Mangalarti, chant. This he reduced to 16 rounds. He told he is following, then only he is instructing others to do that. So that is the way. So then we can actually get transformed. So that's why this is an elaborate topic. But yeah, I'll stop here. Any quick questions if anybody has, you can do so. Otherwise, we'll end the call. Any questions on the Google? Yes, Ashish Karna Prabhu. Yes, you have a question. Okay. Anybody else on the phone? Questions? Okay. Everybody is good. Looks like.
Krishna?
Yes, Mother, go ahead.
Thank you so much for taking your time to explain, Prabhuji. You are still coughing and still you gave such a very long, very wonderful class. Thank you so much for that. One very quick clarification, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother, go ahead.
You were telling about Ramanujacharya when he was serving and then he was only left. So that person, Ramanujacharya, took Diksha from that, he had taken Diksha from that person, is it?
No. Yadav, initially, yes, he was serving under Yadav Prakash. He was became a student and he was learning. And basically, then obviously Ramanuja is not ordinary. He is not a ordinary student. So Yadav Prakash didn't take it in the right spirit. Like a Siksha disciple, you can say. But later on, Yadav Prakash, he was not the spiritual master.
Ramanujacharya took initiation from Mahapurna as Lord Varadaraja from Kanchipuram has instructed. Kanchipurna, the six answers as Ramanujacharya asked Kanchipurna to inform the Lord that he had 6 questions, find the answers. So without revealing what those questions were. And then Kanchipurna could be able to speak to Lord Varadaraja Swami. So that's why Ramanujacharya initially begged Kanchipurna to give him a shelter and take initiation from him, but he protested that I am coming from Sudra, I cannot give you initiation. Please serve Lord Varadaraja by bringing water every day for his service. So during that time, then this conversation happened, and then Lord Varadaraja had given those answers. One of them is sixth one is take refuge in the great soul Mahapurna and he will initiate you. So Lord himself personally, because of his great determination, before that also Yamunacharya had given a blessing by seeing one time when he came to the temple, then he saw Yadav Prakash was initially Ramanujacharya was studying under him. Then he saw this bright-faced student, Ramanujacharya. Immediately he prayed to the Lord to make him a Vaishnava and great devotee so that he can succeed after his demise. So because of his prayers, because of Lord's mercy, because of Ramanujacharya's staunch devotion, and then so Lord personally sent the message, personally revealed that he should take initiation from Mahapurna, was a disciple of Yamunacharya. So in that way Ramanujacharya, both of them met. Ramanujacharya left Kanchipuram and went to Srirangam, and then Mahapurna also that day he left Srirangam and coming to Kanchipuram. So both met in the middle Madurantakam. There Ramanujacharya has taken initiation right away. He said, let's go to Kanchipuram in front of the Lord Varadaraja will take. No, he said, no, death cannot wait. Anytime it can come, so I want to take it right away. So then immediately Ramanujacharya has taken initiation from Mahapurna. So after that there was incident with Mahapurna's wife and Ramanujacharya's wife. So because of that incident, immediately they left Mahapurna and Mahapurna's wife. So then Ramanujacharya decided this is the Lord's plan, let me take sannyas. So in front of directly in front of the Lord Varadaraja, so he has taken renunciation as sannyas, and then he got the name of Itiraj from Kanchipurna, Itiraj, Prince of Ascetics. So this is the great determination we can see. This is the one of the we can see as an example from this verse of Bhagavad Gita 2.54. One who is situated in transcendence, how does he speak, how does he walk, how does he talk? We can see from the example of Ramanujacharya how he behaved, how he walked his life, how much determination and how much is fixed up sthita prajna in his devotion to the Lord.
So he went all the way to even to Jagannath Puri also. So he appeared in Gaur Lila also as Ananda. So wonderful pastimes are there. So that's why these are all confidential devotees. They appear in so many different Leelas. They're always there. They are serving the Lord in different capacity, different forms. So, but Yadav Prakash was an impersonalist. He was preaching the Sankara philosophy. He is not his guru. He is not the guru of Ramanujacharya.
Thank you so much for the clarification. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much.